Hello, what's going on? All right, so I have some highly important news that I want to share with you this evening. And this is it's kind of disturbing, but you remember, what was it, week before last? It was week before last, I believe, where the governor in New Mexico said that she was basically suspending the US Constitution. She was suspending the US Constitution because of the Second Amendment, and she was suspending it for what she said 30 days. And the Democrats, I think there was just one Democrat that actually came out and said something about that. It was Ted Lieu. Ted Lieu came out and said that this is unconstitutional. We shouldn't be doing this. Ted Lieu, he actually, if you ask me my personal opinion, Ted Lieu actually agrees with her. It was just the point that she came out the way she did to do it. The Democrats, they all want to do away with the U.S. Constitution, which is no secret. I've had conversations with multiple people where they talk about, well, they can't do this stuff because it's unconstitutional, but yet they constantly do it. They don't even hide the fact that they hate the Constitution. They want to get rid of the Constitution. Now, if they can weaponize the Constitution against the American people, they'll be completely for that. There won't be no issues if they can weaponize it against the American people, kind of like they did the FBI, the DOJ, and other organizations within the federal government. As long as they can weaponize it, A-OK. But I was asking the question and talking to some people, and I'm like, well, why didn't Joe Biden say anything about it? This is like never should have happened. No governor in the state of the United States of America, any state, should ever say, well, we're going to suspend the Constitution because we're going to prevent you as law-abiding citizens from being able to exercise your constitutional rights, your fundamental rights. We're going to prevent you from doing it. We're not going to allow you to have your constitutional rights any longer. I told people before in the past that this was coming. Something was going to happen, right? And nothing dramatic that, oh my goodness, oh, the sky's falling. Nothing like that as of yet. But I kept telling people in the past, they used to call us conspiracy theorists. Oh, no one's going to take your guns. No one's going to take your guns. And then this governor decided to do what she did, saying that you can't even carry constitutional carry. Even if you have a permit, you can't carry. But why didn't Joe Biden say anything about that? Why didn't Karine Jean-Pierre have to take any questions on that? Because she took a few questions here, but I have nothing for you on that, right? They completely blew it off like it was a non-issue. And it got me to thinking, why would they do this? Why would they do this? It's because they actually want to disarm the American people. The way it came about in New Mexico was like the complete wrong way. You're like, cause they're all in agreement about disarming you, the American people. You remember? You remember that? This is exactly that I want to share with you. And this first one, actually, can we show the article?
Yeah.
Let's show this article.
Hello.
Joe Biden now. Think about this. Joe Biden. He's literally they're creating a gun control task force to put in every city in the United States of America. I'm like, well, how can they do that? Where are they going to get the funding to do such a thing? We just have 87,000 armed IRS agents. That's fine. We just collect the money that way. There's a reason why they want to have them there. Do you hear what I'm telling you? This is the very reason why they did not want to say anything when the governor, that tyrant governor in New Mexico, did what she did. Put it on the screen. Look at this. This is what the tyrannical governor did. Right here, Biden gun control office, stirring controversy before it's announced.
Yep, that's right, Will. This is crazy. It says, gun control advocates are celebrating in anticipation, and Second Amendment activists are decrying reports that President Joe Biden will announce the creation of a White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention. According to published reports, the office will be staffed by gun control activists
Wow. I mean, y'all hearing this? Gun control activists are going to control this. Gun control activists. How insane is that? I mean, you're talking about what's that nut job name? What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? He's always out there.
David Hogg.
David Hogg.
It's a Hogg Road.
Hogg. David Hogg. He's celebrating it right now. These Nazis are coming. People kept saying, "Oh, you're conspiracy theory. They're never going to come. They're never going to come. They're never going to come." And yet here they come. Yep. I told people before. Go back to it.
Yep. These activists are from Everytown for Gun Safety. The organization started by former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg and the Community Justice Active Fund. This decision is putting the gun prohibition lobby on the White House payroll. That is right, everybody. Your tax dollars is paying for this new
And Congress never voted for this. Congress never talked about this. This never been brought up. They're just implementing this tyrannical agenda against the American people. And they were trying to do it without your acknowledgement. You remember how they did the whole disinformation board, how they put that in place? Oh, we're just going to make sure that no one is saying anything that we disagree with. No one's going to be saying anything that we deem or disapprove of. Right? Remember the disinformation board? Remember that? This is the exact same thing. They're not telling, they didn't want to tell anybody. They just want to implement it. They've already started doing it. Sorry, continue.
Yes, well, and this comes from the Epic Times, which we know is a great source for news. They reached out to Everytown for Gun Safety and the White House, and neither one of them reached out for comment. It says in a post on X, formerly Twitter, gun control proponent, your friend David Hogg, celebrated the reports as a victory. Now, Will, interesting, Epic Times actually tagged the very conversation you brought up at the very beginning. New Mexico governor bans guns by declaring health emergency. And that's what this is going to be about. But Will, this is another way that they are getting Gen Z and millennials on board. These are the types of people that they're going to recruit and pay for in this office out of the White House.
So how many of you were wondering why didn't they say anything when this tyrant governor did what she did in New Mexico? Was anyone wondering that? Like, how come they're not a statement? There should be something that should come out. If President Trump was in office, he would have came out and said, look, we're going to look into this because it's unconstitutional. We don't need any governors throughout the country telling the American people that you don't have your God-given right to defend yourself. This is what this is all about. They're trying to remove the capability for you to defend your life. You understand this? They're not going after the criminals. They've already made it clear. They're importing criminals into the country. Have you looked at the southern border? They're importing the criminals. So they don't want you, the American citizen, to be able to defend yourself, to protect yourself. See, China already knew there's a gun behind every blade in the United States of America. Oh, wait a minute. We don't need to go and attack America. We'll just send soldiers in the southern border. Everybody else is going. We'll just place our military soldiers in America right there. They sent a balloon from the West Coast to the East Coast. Joe Biden said, oh, look at the balloon. That's all he did. Look at the balloon. And then they shot down once they gathered all the data that they were looking for. People, you need to wake up. They're getting ready they're setting us up. They're setting us up to get all of us. And I hate to be like the doom and gloom, but I told you, I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. Many people have been saying this, and I guarantee more than half of you watching right now, y'all said, well, yep, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. You need to prepare. You need to get ready. You need to get ready because they're getting ready to come. Yeah, these people are evil.
Well, let me talk about another thing that's in the news about guns again. Columbus Police, listen to this. City is hosting a gun buyback event on September 30th. It's starting to happen. They're starting to roll this out. They want your guns.
So why would they go and do a buyback if they never sold you the gun in the first place? Is anyone understanding this? Is anyone picking up on this? I mean, I remember Australia did something similar, and I think maybe this is where they got the idea from. I don't know, but I remember Australia was saying we're doing a gun buyback, and they were basically forcing people to go sell their guns, and then they got all the guns and they destroyed them. And look at Australia today. Australia is mimicking Nazi Germany to a T. You cannot say anything. The government will get you. I used to think Australia, but like, man, how cool would it be to go to Australia? I don't even want to visit Australia. Now, I know there's awesome people in Australia, but the government there has become completely tyrannical. The same thing they're trying to implement here in the United States of America. I told people it was coming. They created a gun control task force. Are you kidding me? Who are they creating it for? They're not creating it for the criminals. Just like I said, they're importing the criminals. They're creating it for you, the law-abiding citizen. Let me share this with you. Remember, they just had a hearing on Capitol Hill. Split screen it for me. Had a hearing on Capitol Hill talking about how the federal government coming after law-abiding citizens and American people, a lot of American people sitting on the edge wondering if the federal government is coming to arrest them. Listen to this.
Attorney General, you had a very moving statement about your grandparents coming here from Belarus to live in the country without fear of prosecution. I grew up in very similar country, Ukraine now, and when I came here as a young person, I believed in the value as an American not to be afraid of my government. But I wanted to tell you, and I want to share with you and get your thoughts on that. Are you aware that a lot of Americans are now afraid of being prosecuted by your department? Are you aware about that?
Are you hearing this? I mean, you know what? Thank you. Someone's actually asking the question. Are you aware that some people have fear that you're just going to come and arrest them because you're nothing but a bunch of tyrants? This shouldn't be happening in a civilized nation. Are we still civilized? Listen.
Are you aware of that? I'm just saying, are you aware or not?
I think that constant attacks on the department and saying
no, it's not attacks. Well, let me give you.
I mean, really, the constant attacks on the department? She's not even asking him that. This dude is a complete idiot. She's literally asking him, are you aware that the American people are on edge because you, the tyrannical government, is arresting them for free speech, for them exercising their constitutional rights? You're arresting them. Listen.
An example.
I don't know.
We talk about January 6th. People.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, there some people came on January 6th. There probably were some people that came on January 6th here, that had bad intent. But a lot of good Americans from my district came here because they are sick and tired of this government not serving them. They came with strollers and the kids, and there was chaotic situation because the proper security wasn't provided. That's a question that was answered really why.
Right. We've already discussed that. President Trump just talked about it the other day. And they're like, oh my goodness, it's not true. And then Nancy Pelosi go, no, that was President Trump's job to provide security at the Capitol, not mine. It was her job. It's always been the speaker's job ever since the federal government has been created. It's been the job of the speaker. They know it. We know it, but they expect us to not believe it. Listen.
Why we debated for 45 minutes on the floor and didn't stop the debate after the people broke into the Capitol. But these people came, they were throwing the smoke bombs into the crowd with strollers with kids. People were showed up, FBI agent to people's houses. You had in my district, in my town, FBI phone numbers all over the district. Please call that. People are truly afraid. I just want to make sure if you're not aware that you are. And this is a big problem when people are afraid of their own government. And I'll share some other things. We're talking about justice system. I don't question, you're probably not a bad person. I don't know you, but what I'll tell you, you're in charge of the department. And people right now feel, I look at Durham report and I call on the FISA violations of queries of millions of Americans, right? It's like KGB, but when I read Durham reports, we have this, you have a nice, playbook. First, let's have a special counsel, and then you don't have to answer any questions here. Then let's extend slow walk investigation on Hillary Clinton, on Hunter. Everything is slow walk. We were very quick on Donald Trump, but you were very slow walk. Then by the time...
I love this woman. I mean, I really do. And she does, you know, she has this, where's she from? Where's she from? I forget where she's from, but you can tell she's not, you know, she doesn't have that American accent. And she's here. It sounds like she's maybe from the UK or something like that. She said it once before, but I cannot remember. But you can tell, she's literally like telling these idiots, do not fall for this. Why are you doing this? She's literally asking, why are you doing this? You're attacking innocent American people. Why are you doing this? Do we want to go down the path of Nazi Germany? Is that your agenda? Because we all see it. We all see what you're doing. This is absolutely disgusting. And this all plays into with Joe Biden and the Democrats creating this gun control task force.
It says she's a Ukrainian-born member of Congress. She's born in a former Soviet republic.
And she's here telling these idiots not to go the path of communism. You can't make it up. She's awesome.
You know that investigation and its statute of limitation expired, and all of your agents need to be tested for amnesia. No one recalls anything. Okay, you probably should have as part of your hiring policy. So no one held accountable, which was egregious what happened, you know, in that report. When I read with them, I can't believe it happened in the United States of America. This is my frustration. I'll be honest with you. Then it's very interesting, you know, regardless what it is, even people in Obama administration raised concerns. You know, how can President sons be serving on, you know, corrupt Ukrainian oligarchs? Do you understand that it actually can undermine the one Ukrainian effort and policy? I think these concerns were raised. The Obama administration didn't do anything about it. These people are dying right now, and Americans don't trust this president. So I want to ask you one thing. You know, I don't need answer because I know you're not going to, but I think you're probably a good American and you care. And a lot of these people are so afraid they cover up this stuff, I think, in your department because they're embarrassed.
Oh my goodness. It's like, thank you. Someone's finally saying it to his face. People within your department, they're scared to speak up because they're going to be retaliated against because of all of this criminal, corrupt stuff that you've been doing. Thank you. Somebody is saying it. Somebody's calling it out. She's literally said, I think you love America, right? I would imagine you love America. She said, I don't know you. I can imagine you love America. I don't think he does. I don't think any Democrat loves America. Because if they did, they would be wanting to close the border. If they did, they wouldn't want the fentanyl coming in. If they did, they wouldn't want high gas prices. If they did, they wouldn't want the grocery store to be all crazy right now with the prices. They're doing this deliberately. Finally, someone is saying it to his face. And you know what? He probably doesn't even care. He probably left after this hearing and went and had a beer somewhere.
That what we became as a country, to say that what our Department of Justice became, that allows Russians to do propaganda in Chinese. It allows them to destabilize our country. That is danger to our republic. It is significant danger. And I have just one more question from you. You know, I agree on corporate crimes and FISA stuff, even with Democrats, that we need to do a better job. One more question for you. Do you believe that, you know, you talk about rights to vote, but do you believe that only U.S. citizens should be voting in this election and doing anything to make sure that only eligible people vote in elections?
And he come back and he says, yes, we will. You can take it off the screen. I mean, my goodness. This is exactly all. It's like it's all playing out. It's like it's all playing out like we're watching a movie. Like we're watching history repeat itself, literally repeat itself. These tyrants, what they're doing to our country should not be happening. It should not be happening. You got to prepare for your family. I don't know how else to tell you. You got to prepare for your family. Because, again, New Mexico, the governor said something about, you know, the governor suspended the Constitution and then the Biden regime said nothing about it. And now they create a gun control task force. What do you think that's for? What do you think? What do you think that's for? Leave me a comment. Leave me a comment. God bless. Good night.